Hello and good evening, and lovely to see you here. Getting my camera ready. Technology seems to be behaving itself this evening. It wasn't me, unfortunately, well, thankfully, last time. It was Facebook playing up, and lots of people were suffering with problems, so it wasn't just me. So at least we got round going onto YouTube, and we got by. So I'll just talk you through quickly. We've had rather a weekend. We've been driving. Those of you who know the UK, we're on the east coast. We've driven over to Wales to stay with family for the weekend, and then this morning we all traipsed over to Stockport to a funeral for one of our elderly relatives at 95. Okay, and then we've driven all the way back afterwards after lunch. So we've been on the road a long while. Feet ache from driving, but that was where I was last night. It was a fairly good drive, thanks, Zena. I drove from Corley Services back, and then to give David a break, and my feet were hurting. My foot's playing up, but anyway, we're home. We've had a chill, and good to be crafting again. Yes, we are shattered. It's been nice to sleep in my own bed tonight, I must admit. Anyway, we all know that feeling, don't we? Getting back into our own bed. So this is me just loading up the camera. There you go. I'm in the corner. So we're just recapping on here. We have got the sale starts tomorrow. So I kind of wanted to show you a couple of sets. So we still have this one here hiding behind. I was expecting I might have come back to a box, but not here. So I wonder if they will turn up on Monday, the new catalogues. So they will be here. So anyone visiting my studio in the near future will be able to get their hands on their copies straight away. Anyway, I'm going to quickly switch over to the catalogue here. I've written a couple of page numbers down. 167 I've written. So 167 in here, we have, trying to sneak in the corner there, we have, down here, we have Two-Tone Flora. Just get you out of the shadow of my overhead camera. Two-Tone Flora. This is one of the die sets that is on at 50%, at £18.50. And if I go underneath all of these, when you see this walk through earlier, I will just bring that to the top again, actually. Page 34 is the stamp set that coordinates with. So 34, and this is the stamp set that goes, you can see both pages. This is a stamp set that goes with. There are no sentiments in that set, but the stamp set is 30% off at £15.40, and the die set is 50% off at £18.50. Now my sums in front of me did that at £33.90 for the bundle. So both together. I'm going to be using this background because it's not one I've used much lately. Hi, nice to see everybody joining. Thanks, Lynn. Who else I've got? Angela, Zena, Angela, Lynn, Marilyn, Gillian and Shaz. So I'm going to use this set today. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I've die cut a couple of options for you. And this is the stamp set that goes with. So they've got the dies to cut out those shapes. If I knew where my sample was, I have got a sample with this recently, but at the moment I haven't got a clue where it is. So we'll just start afresh with this one. But also for the sentiments to go on here, I want to use my other favourite here is Sending. The Sending dies, my little sad face there. It's not good. It's retiring, 50% off those dies. So £15.50 for the die set. If you haven't got this one, these two layer up on top of each other very nicely. We'll use those tonight. And Sending Smiles stamp set under here is page 26. So page 26 is this stamp set. There's no reduction on here, but it is retiring. It is beautiful. You'll have seen me, look, the samples on here. You can make lavender falling down here. The layers just layer on top of each other. And here. And this one's just stamped, and the little sentiments in here. I love these sentiments, and each one of those lays in one of these two dies. You'll see that happen tonight anyway. I have something in my head, but hey, we'll see how we go. But if you look back a couple of episodes, you'll see when I did the walkthrough, both catalogues, both the annual and the mini, and that is the easiest way for you to see the prices. If there's anything that you are unsure of or you would like explanation for, please just give me a message, just message me over. I was supposed to be away Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. But unfortunately, one of my friends I was going in the motorhome with has had to cancel, so that's been postponed. So whilst I'm about, I'm not here all day, I am around. So if you want anything, then please just message me. So let me take you to this one first. This one here, this one here. These are the ones I said there is no sentiment with. So I love my sentiments from here. This set has been used so much. And with the new annual catalogue, some of us were having a chat somewhere, and I don't know where it was. I think it was an online post. And if you have a post-it note inside your set, and you put little, I said I was probably going to use Roman numerals, or write on the case somewhere, so you know how many times you've used it, how many times it comes out and gets used. And with the new catalogue from the 1st of May, I think I might just do that. Just to have something inside the cover, I can just put bar gates on it, and then we can see in a year how many times I use it. Soon tell you which ones are the favourite. I know I love all of these sentiments. They are gorgeous. So these ones here, the back, they've got the dies to cut those out with, but this one's still on the backing. So I'll move those over out of the way. I've cut one of these in vellum. I've only got whitened thing out at the moment. I haven't got any dark pieces. What have we got here? I'm not using it, but hey, just so that you can see it easily, let's get you out a dark piece of this, because it's next door to me. So no, that's not going to work, is it? Can't see it on there either. Let me grab a piece of black card so you can see that better. We can rectify these things. There we go. Look, that's a little bit better. So you can see this through. Not all of these pieces have come out. I have my brush here, my die brush. So I'm just going to run these through a little bit more. I just did a very quick pass through the dies so that you didn't have to wait quite so long for me doing all the fiddly bits. And all of these, the little die brush on the end of your take or pick tool is the bee's knees. They are not retiring. They are still staying, so it's one of our very favourite tools. And of course we have the extra little bits on the little wheel that's in the mini catalogue. That's carrying over as well. So if you have any of these, I've paired mine up. I have two, so I have the other tools on another one, but I've got the pokey tool on here. So if you find any tiny little bits that just need a poke, it's easy when they're both on the same tool. Okay, I think they are all out now. All I've got to do is just even those edges up. And then this one I left on just to show you how easy it is. You can see on here several of them still haven't come out. Okay, so again, just another good rub on there with the tool. When you are rubbing with these dies, you are rubbing away. You're trying to push them through. I sometimes see people trying to do this side. All it's doing is pushing it back into the die. So you want to be brushing away through the die, and all these little perforations and holes will just push those pieces out of the way. Okay, there's a few more in there. This corner didn't get much love. So again, you can poke these out afterwards. So I like to do, with these really detailed ones, I try and get as much as I can with the brush first. And all it is just very easily peeling that off. Okay, now isn't that beautiful? Make sure there's none left in here, because when you go to use this next time, if there's any pieces still in here, then they will fill the void and it won't cut properly on the next pass through. So that's worth just bearing in mind. And then once you've got this away, you can poke those last little pieces. It's not one that I've used loads, but I do love it. I've used the stamps actually on this one more than the dies. And having seen this now, I'm thinking, why didn't I use this more? So just these little middles of the flowers just need a little bit more pressing. It is a beautiful set, Gillian, definitely. But this is your own little, they're just like laser cut really. They're beautiful. And I'm going to show you, you don't need a lot with it. So I'm just going to poke those and prod and wheel those last few little tiny little pokes out there. Okie doke. I'm gonna work with this on a a solid paper underneath tonight, so you can see something with those. I think that's all the pieces. So there's my little bits there. I will tip them into the bin, get rid of the black, wipe the bench. Okay, another bit there. Right, so we have 2 pieces here to play with. So we are going to just trim this down, whichever trimmer you like to use. I like, for small pieces, I like to use the little trimmer. So this one, you can see the edge there and the edge here are not the same width. So I'm just going to square that up as best as I can. Now you might find it better to put a little pencil mark where you think that the gap there, I am eyeballing just to there, that little mark. So I'll hold that one square, and then this little pencil mark is on the edge of my cutter, however you're cutting them. Hello Wilma from the Netherlands. Oh bless, you've just found mine again. Oh bless. Yes, I have still got some swaps. Yes, I am all in the process of organising, but I'm organising my whole studio at the moment. So I have got lots of swaps from that. It was a lovely event. I've cut that one a little bit closer. I don't think it's going to matter. I would recommend, maybe if you're doing this, is to cut your paper to the size of the die before you start. I just grabbed a little piece of paper, a card, before I came on air to make it easier. Okay, take a gnat's whisker off there. There we go, pull that one out of the way. And there we've got some good borders on there. So that one I think is good to go. Then this one is very delicate because it's the vellum. So this is, if you find you have, like this trimmer has a little bit of a guard here. So I'm going to use that as my rule of thumb. And I'm going to see if I can get away with having that on the edge of the guard. It might work. And cutting all of those around the same distance. So the last cut is on the guard. And just move that one on as well. Probably could have done a little bit more there. Just a fraction more. Okay, when you are cutting tiny little amounts off around the edges of here, I don't advise to use a slidey trimmer or paper trimmer. If you use a knife, a craft knife and a metal ruler, or if you've got a guillotine, the guillotines are the best way. Still just found a couple of more little pieces I haven't knocked out of there. So I think we're good on there. Get those all out of the way. Okay, now we can sit and create. One of your I know it is, Helen. Yes, Joy. I know that Jackie, if you know Jackie Lawrence, she's one of my team, my Stampin' Up team. She has 4 of these. There's 4 take your pick tools. I have 2 and I like my 2. If I go away and I need one like tomorrow, I'm going to go and join her scrapbook class. I will just take my 2 tools with me as they are. But yes, if you have different ones, it just saves you having to keep alternating them and changing them. So I have some thick white here. I'm going to make a couple of standard card bases. If we decide we want coloured, I can always grab some coloured card. So I'm going to score this halfway that way and then cut it halfway this way. Now I have bought myself a new trimmer in Celebration. So I've now got 2 of these for class use. So this, I happen to have picked up the wrong one without the dots on. So my dot here is 1.5 mils under 15 because of the length of our A4 card, and then it's on 10.5. So it's on there. So they're my 2 red dots. So I've just put those on there, 10.5 at the bottom. And I can't do the 14.85 on here because it's got the other ruler on it. But then I know exactly where to go. So I'm on the 14.85 and we're going to cut it through there. Okay, so we now have 2 bases. Okay, put that to one side for now. We'll score these. You have 2, yes, best way, Shaz. I do like that combination, because if you're die cutting, you're going to need those two at the same time. Okay, you rub through and then you poke out the odd bits. The other tool, I have my putty on this end, and I have the ball tools. So you've got the interchangeable ball tools, the small and the large, and they're good for scoring as well if you want to do something with those. The putty is very useful. The spatula, etc., is actually on the back of this one. So there's a spatula there. And the other little gadgets we've got, they can just be used as you need them. So I can swap those off the other machine, the other tool. Okay, so I've got two of these. The reason being, I'm going to do one in vellum. I'm going to put a dark colour behind here, and then another one on there. So we're going to have two different versions here. I want this one to be quite dark, because that will show through there better. I have some vellum, some lavender out, and I've got the zinnias as well. So I think I'm going to try and find in the painted lavender papers, I'm going to try and find a nice bold pattern to go behind. I think it's going to be that one. Oops, I went past it. This would be really nice. So this would give us some detail. It's got the detail in here of those flowers, but this on the top will bring that out, or this would bring that one out like so. So we've got two options there. And the other one, I will try and see what else. I'm not sure whether this would actually, it wouldn't show up too much on here because it's too detailed and too detailed. So let's see what else we can find. I'll just give you two different options on that. This is Blackberry Bliss. We could actually show that one on a card layer, but it's quite dark and quite deep. Let's see what else we have. I want to go something a little bit different to the other ones. It's just flicking through the papers here. Talk amongst yourselves. That's that one. Let's see whether this would this work for some detailed. No, again, it's too, I think we need the darker colour for the vellum, maybe on this one, like so, and then maybe have this one showing through with the greenery behind. Because this one can lend itself to a more detailed pattern, because you've got the variants coming through. I think that one would look quite nice, wouldn't it? Let's take those two away. We also have, on the reverse of the lavender papers, we also have this one. So you won't see that on there, but you would see the check through there. I think I prefer that combination. Right. Okie doke, let's get busy. So we're going to take one of these at a time. Take that away. And we're going to cut this to the same size as this. So it's going to reach all the corners. So we're going to have this on those red dots again. So it's 14.85 by 10.5. Oh, that is on that 10.5. Look, I don't have to cut that one anymore. So that's going to pop on there like so. And you've got that little bit of a border around there. Now, if you wanted to, you can actually trim that down to be, I'll put that at the top there for now. You can actually just pop that in the centre, so you'll see a little bit of the leaves either side of that one. And then with this one, we're going to do the same. So we're going to 10.5 this way. The stems are going up and down. If you had a scrap left over and it was going the other way, I don't think you would actually notice it, because you're not going to see too much through there. So I think you would be okay if it was going sideways. Just experiment, just play. Try and find yourself a busy pattern. Zinnias might not be another nice one. I'll try that one as well another time. So I'm going to place these on the top here. So they are square to my card fronts. So I'm going to take my Tombow. Oh dear, that one's had the lid off and I've been away, so that might not. Oh, look at it, bless its little heart. It's still flowing freely. That's because it's been in a little jam jar and its nib has been down in the bottom of the pot, so the air couldn't really get to it, and it's continued to flow since I last used it. Must be before Thursday, I expect. All right, I'm going to lay that down lightly, and then I'm going to just pick it up, make sure it's square on all those sides, and run that over. The only thing I don't like about the glass mat, it's a bit noisy when you chink on it. Put some glue on there, a piece of paper towel there, and a spritz of water. Keep a little bottle on hand with my water just in case. Okay, you can just wipe that over. There's one done, and that's going to have our vellum. And then this, the same here. It might actually have been okay on that side. Just before we stick it down, that would show some of the white through, but I think this is going to be better on the darker piece. So again, just lining it up on the fold, letting that drop down, and then just squaring it off and make sure it's the same all the way around. And there we go. So who owns either of those two stamp sets? Who has either of those two in their collection? Now this one, I just think it's so pretty. It's got the variegated coming through. Now we're going to use this one, and I'm going to quickly grab my silicone mat because this is going to be a better result. Silicone and so my silicone mat. I'm going to take my necklace off because it's chinking and it's jingling around my neck and it's annoying me. So this is just a piece of old bar sponge. It's faded in the sunlight, but that really doesn't matter. I use this mainly for glue now, but just to cut a little wedge off. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop some Tombow on the corner here, just a little puddle. I'm going to take the sponge and work that in. You can use a sponge dauber, but I would recommend that you clean the sponge dauber when you finish. Now this is going to come on the back here like so. So we're just going to dab that over. Okay, when you place it through the holes, you're going to get the glue on the mat between those holes. So you kind of want to be conscious of that and try not to move it, because the glue will go on your right side of your piece that you are gluing. Okay, so I'm going to pop this down on here. We're top to bottom, and we know there's a little bit of a margin either side. Okay, so that can just tap down nicely. And this way, you shouldn't have your glue coming through all those holes. Okay, so there's one backing done. Now, with regards to this one, I would then get a wet wipe normally, and then bypassing that corner, I would get a wet wipe or spray some water onto here with my paper towel and just wipe that through. So you wipe off that excess glue that you've just put on there that's gone through the holes of that one, and it does come up very, very clean. Okay, so now we can turn this one over, do exactly the same on the back. Just put some more Tombow in. Now, you have Sending Smiles. It's lovely. It is lovely. Yes, you use them over and over, yes. So I'm doing the same. I'm just going to take this and just work this in. When I say, I've said before that anything will show through on vellum, if you use your glue like this, it shouldn't show through. It's literally, you're not putting puddles of glue like that. You're just putting little dabs of glue. And if you do the main key areas and the edges, you're not putting thick layers of glue that are going to show through. Okay, and as we're putting this on, it's going to go a little bit tacky, so it's not a wet glue as such to ruin your project. Okay, so I'll pop that out of the way now, up there with that, and bring this down. And then this will do the same, just top to bottom and a little margin in. So we're about there. Let it drop down. Make sure you've got your margin the other side, maybe a little bit further. Just holding my breath while I do this. I think I've left slightly bigger borders on it as well. Let that drop. There's a little piece rucked up there. So don't slide it, just pat it, okay? And that will stick down, okay? Where I've just knocked that, that's just to press that down even harder. And there we are. We've got a really good, clean image on there. Hi, Maxine. Okay, so we've got most of those are all caught down. If you find a little tiny bit, you can just pick up another little bit of that. Where I just knocked that upwards, just pop a little bit under there and hold it down a little bit more. Okay, and that will save your bacon. Okay, so there's our 2 different images there. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the Sending Smiles. My other favourite set. This is the Bee's Knees. If you haven't got it, you really need to grab it before it disappears. We have these lovely dies here, but we also have these 2 banners. So whilst I've used the flowers and the banners to death, I'm just going to do some quick little pieces just to decorate these. So we've got, some don't need the sending. You can have sending, a note of thanks, sending, all of those messages, or you can just have a card to say hello, a note of thanks. They just say their wishes on their own. So I'm going to do a note of thanks here. Okay, and I'll grab a block. I didn't grab a block, did I, before I came on air? I have Gorgeous Grape, which will go with both of those. And just need that block, just a sec. For one as well, just in case we want those later. So I'm just going to pick this up on here, stand it in the middle, and pick that up. I'll grab these and see what small little piece I have to stamp on. There's one, and there's 2. Okay, so let's decide what we'd like to put. We could put any of these greetings on here. So Gorgeous Grape sitting here. We're going to plonk that on here like so. And when I'm using these, I would always go and fill in that piece. No point making a piece of scrap paper redundant. So I will make 2 and I will keep that in the packet with the others. And if we wanted a different greeting, what shall we go for? A note of card and a card to say hello are my go-tos. They really are. So a card. You can tell by the discoloration which are my favourites, can't you? Okay, so move those over. And I'm going to just move that one off for a moment. Pick this one up. Turn it around so it's the right way up. And just tap that over my ink pad just lightly. And one here. Lift it up. And one here. And lift it up. There we go. Leave those over there. So I think both of these will actually go through the smaller window. So I don't need that one. That can go on top of the packet. So we bring the little baby over, baby cutter. I nip these in half. If you're doing pieces on your either cutting machines, if you have scratchy lines in here, they will go on the other piece. So you're only cutting one image out. So I tend to just stick to the one on there at a time. Or I've got some little scrap pieces of tape I've stuck on here previously. They can go through more than once. That one's going to go on that side. That one's just going to go on that side. I'm going to cut that one. So we can save those 2. I can do those off air later. Okay, so gently peel that off. These get used, like I say, more than once. They just stick on my machine. So we can have one of those on there. In the bin. And this one will go through exactly the same. So if you have a longer greeting, the other one works just well. Slightly over. Okay. There we go. And run those through. And we're doing good for time actually, considering we've done 2 cards. say, you hear honesty from me with regards to what I use. If you follow me regularly, you'll see sets that I bring out constantly. You know which ones are well loved and well used, and these are two of them. More so the card, the Sending Smiles. But yeah, you see what I use and what's really good value for money. Now, sometimes with your dies, you will get the little fluffy edges from where it's cut through, and there's little hanging pieces like just on the end there. So I have a nail block, an old nail block. I am a trained nail tech, but I do my own nails. I flaked one of this one off while I was away, but the rest are all done. But I do have the nail block, so when they get redundant from my nails, they come into the craft room. Just make sure nothing dusty on the table. I'm just stroking this downwards at 90 degrees, just to take those long edges off. Any little double edges. Okay, I think that's good. So we've got those. And we've got these to come on here, one on each card, whichever way around we'd like to do those. These are just samples, just ideas I'm throwing cold. I have got my twines here. This is one of my boxes of twines, and I'll probably use the silver with this purple. So just take one of these out. There was a loose piece in there. Now, the trick when these come off your roll and they're all curly is to run them between your nail and your finger, and they will stay straight. Okay, this one's a bit kinky. I think that one's been, there we go, perfectly straight. It makes it an awful lot neater to tie. So bunny ears in that finger, bunny ear in there, a loop, sorry, loop and loop. That's my bunny ears. And then just tie it through the centre. Okay, and then we pull the tails down and even those up. And just shape it a little bit as to how you would like your bow. Okay, I'm pulling that down with my other hand. Just have a little bow there. And they look so cute on there like so. So you can put this wherever you like. You can put it at the top and have the bow coming like so. We could do another one on here. This one here, I really would like to sponge that ink around the edges. So I'm going to go and grab my Dauber caddy and come back and do that one. You see people sitting in their studios and they've got everything behind them easily reachable. And those of you who come to my studio know my studio isn't one of those. So this is why I have to get up and go fetch. So for this one, I'm going to just run the Gorgeous Grape Sponge Dauber. I put the Dymo tape around them. I'm just going to run this along the edges just to take that white off, because it's going to go on a white background and it needs that extra little bit of definition from the edges. So just run that round on all the edges. So these are like a thimble. Anyone who does dressmaking, just like a little thimble. Just wear it, tap it in the ink, and run it round. Stampin' Up sell these in packs of 5. Okay, and that just helps shape that edge so you can see the border around the edge there. Just defines it and lets it stand out a bit. That can go back in there. Oh, it's telling me the battery's going now. I didn't need that, did I? We can't have you running out of juice. Have my battery pack. There we go. You're going to survive longer. There we go. So we've got both of those. We've got the this one I've just run my fingers through the end just to make it so it's straighter. Little loop in there. Put this finger in the middle and make a loop in there. Crisscross them over. Use this finger, I tuck it through the middle. It is just practice. That's all it is. If you watch me in slow motion, I'm pulling this one with my other hand down there. Pull this one and just shape your bow as you would like it to be. So I'll just chop that off for now. Put that back in the packet, and we will use mini glue dots to adhere those down. Mini glue dots, and and we'll put some gems in a sec. Got some Stampin' Dimensionals. So I've got the little diddy ones today. Just need my tweezers. So we will pop these along the back on both of those. One there, one there, and we'll put one in the middle. Yeah, I press them down and then lift them off. Okay, press them down and lift them off. Press them down and lift them off. My fingers are too big and fussy to get in the way. I'm going to put these at the top, roughly in the centre. Okay, and then this will just be on a little glue dot on here. So if I take my tweezers and push the edge of this in, just going to roll that up with the edge of your scissors or edge of tweezers, roll it up into a little sausage. Okay, press it down where you want your bow to be placed. So I'm just going to press that on there and lift it off. Then this can just sit the knot over the top of that jelly dot, that mini glue dot. And if you press that down, you can come in from the other way, press that into the jelly of the glue dot. Okay, and that will make that sit in there nicely. And then you can just freely snip your tails as you wish. I like to have them fairly even either side. There we go. That's one done, and then we'll do the same with this one. So 3 of these, one that end, one this end, and then one in the centre. As we've got a little bit of time on our hands, I think. Where are we? Yes, we've got a little bit of time. I might actually put this one lower, and I'm going to do this one as ascending. So I'm going to pop this here to the side. There, there and there. We'll leave the bow for a minute. And I'm just going to run through that sending on the mini machine. Mustn't lose that stamp. So some of you might not have seen this, so I'm just going to recap with this one. The other thing is you can put any of these little flowers and die cut them out and put little pretty flowers on here, just to make a little accent on them. I love these, absolutely love them. I know I had some coloured card in here. Got the lighter one, have the darker one there. I'm just finding it in the packet of card here. There we go. So I would have this. This was a card that I'd cut and I'd done some things and I decided to change my mind. So I'm going to take the heavy one from the backing. I'm going to just cut a piece off of that. And there. And then I'll take a piece of the white. One's here, and chop that off. Now we're just going to have a look and see in the packet. Sometimes I'm known to put some little pieces back in here in a little cello bag, but I know I had some people here the other day and I know we used up any that were lurking around, so to speak. So we'll cut these ones out so you can see how beautifully they cut. So one of those, it's not lining up correctly, it's just on a piece of plain card, so I don't bother to use the sellotape. That's that one. That comes out so easily because it's the big backing on it. Okay, and then we have this one here. Go diagonally. Again, no need to tape it down because you're not lining up. Just make sure it hasn't moved like it just did. Okay, it's good in there. This is one of the jobs that I do in front of the telly when I'm watching a film sometimes. Is just cut through several of these die cuts. Now I'm going to just hold where the eye is. I'm just going to hold that in place at the minute. There's a reason for that. So just poke these pieces out. And where the eye is, there's a little dot on that eye. So we kind of want to try and save that one. So if I use where the eye is, it's there. I'm going to poke that one out onto my mat and save it so I know where it is. Okay, we'll get the rest of it removed. Just gently peel that back. They're coming off here very, very easily. But the dot on the eye is one that does get lost. Okay, so get that one out. That can go away. They can go on the floor. That could go over there as well. So this one, I'm now going to pop on here. Okay, and I'm just going to pop this along and stretch it along. But first, what I'm going to do is bring this back. Okay, we've got the dot on here. So I'm going to place the Tombow where it was before. So that's in this little corner here. Now if I had a cocktail stick handy, then I would use that. But I can always use the pokey tool tip here. What I'm going to do is bring this over and just put a tiniest dot in the middle of the eye on there. Okay, I know exactly where it is. I'll wipe the glue off the pokey tool and I will grab my putty and pick up the edge of that little dot of the eye and pop that in place. Okay, one little tricky thing, that's all it is, but that's on first, so I know I'm not going to lose that now. Okay, so this I will turn over the same as we did before, just on my sticky mat here, my silicone mat, and just put a few little touches on there and then pick that off with my tweezers. Okay, and we can line that up on here. So just start off with the main letter, the S on there, top it into place. Just press them down gently as you go. Okay, I'll hold that with the tweezers and just place that on the letters. Okay, you can just bring those gradually into place and just spread them down like that. Okay, and just tap them as you go. This one's going to come round, the eye is going to come there. So just shaping it. When it comes out of the die, obviously it can elongate. Whereas if you're just putting one letter at a time down, it will be fine. And I've put the eye on there first so it doesn't get lost. So that would be my sending, okay? And as I've done it on the purple, the Gorgeous Grape, I'm going to put some little foam pads on there as well. So you can see both parts of both dies and how they work together. So I'm going to pop that down, press it down and lift it off. Hi from Canada, lovely to see you, my dear. So I'm live normally on here, this time 8 o'clock every Sunday night. I just made apologies because I've been the other end of the country today to a funeral. So we had to be there yesterday for this morning. And also an hour later at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. So you've got me again in a couple of days' time. So I'm just placing these on the larger portions, and then if you get like a long tail on here and you want a piece there, this is the ideal time to use up your bits. So I have a piece in here called Bits and Edges. So if I take that out, I can use one of these edgy pieces, a longer piece on there like so. Okay, and because I keep bits and edges all together, I know exactly where to find them. Okay, they are all ready to be turned over, and that can go on here at an angle like so. Okay, so you can still see the beautiful vellum in the background. Okay, and you've got your note of thanks. All we need now to do is to put the mini glue dot and pop our little bow on here. And there's our 2 cards for today. So that's 2 of the sets. That's going to be the bundles. They're going to be really, really useful for you. Now, I quite like to have that in that gap. So I'm going to do the same again. Take a glue dot, push it along with something flat, either my tweezers or your scissors, something like that. And then I'm going to pop that on the edge of the note of thanks. So I get a little sausage on there. Then we're going to press that into that jelly glue dot. Okay, because it's jelly, we literally can push that knot into it and it will sink into that and really grab it. Okay, and then we can just cut the tails like so, have them fairly even. There we go. We haven't put any gems on here yet. Let's put some gems. I think we'll have the little ones just dotted randomly. Ooh, 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 look, we have some clear, but we have these ones. Look, the purple shimmer gems, the fine purple fine shimmer gems. Okay, I've got a couple of packs of those. I'll use these ones up first. So, because this one's just got the purple, we can dot some of these around on here, maybe in the middle of some flowers. Okay, it's the middle of that one. We'll do 3, we'll pop one down the bottom here. And then on this one, we could get away with this other shade, look, the pinkier tones. I'll put one in the middle of that flower, one in the middle of that flower, and there's another one on here. Look, we'll just pop that in there, just to give it a little bit of shimmer. Okay, but I hope you like those too. If I bring the camera in closer to you, you'll be able to see those coming in there. So there we go, we've got the 2 cards together. So it shows you two of the stamp sets that I really, really love, and how the savings on there. So the sending dies, which are these ones, were 50% off at £15.50, and the stamps were same price at £21. So it's £36.50 for the bundle in the sale that starts tomorrow. And the big background stamps, the 2-tone flora, was 50% on the dies at £18.50 and 30% off the stamps at £15.40. So those stamps were the ones with no sentiment. We've got that lovely big die in there and several of the flowers, and the flowers go with it. So you could add some extra flowers. It's a bit confusing with these backgrounds, but I wanted to show this one because at the background, because it's one that I don't use as often as I should. So you can see both of those. The vellum is definitely retiring as well. So the vellum, I think, in my top of my head, I think is going to be 30% off. Let me just look that up for you, because I know a lot of my ladies love the vellum. So let me just see what we've got in here. Vellum, which page were you on? Down here, Vellum Basics. So right at the bottom of page 133, you've got 20% off the vellum at £7.60. Oh no, that's the patterned one. That's the pattern, but that is another one that's retiring there. We have this on the plain ones. The plain one is retiring, but there's no reductions off that. Okay, I did add a couple of packs on my order the other day, and I no doubt before the end of this month, if it's still around, I will be adding some more. Okay, so I hope you like those two, just showing 2 of the sets that I really, really love. Oh, loving the vellum. Can't see the print background so well. No, on the pattern. It was more for a variegated pattern behind there, Angela. Okay, so it does mask it more. But believe me, there will be lots more with the lavender. The lavender papers are staying. The lavender bundle is holding over to the new catalogue, and all the papers. So they are beautiful. You'll see lots more of that coming up over the next few weeks. Okay. Hi, Tracy. I didn't see you pop on there. Hi, Tracy. So eye-catching. Absolutely. Definitely. It's a beautiful set, Shaz. Okay. It is an awesome set. Absolutely. Yeah, I won't be selling mine. You're out of vellum already, are you, Joy? Oh, dear. Sad to hear. If you want me to get any from here, I'm seeing you. I know you're visiting me in May. I'm more than happy to get some for you if you would like. Okay. Oh, bless you. Thanks, Gillian. Anyway, I'll bring you back to me, take that off and bring you back over. And thanks for joining me this evening. If you've got any special requests for Wednesdays or Sundays, then please do give me a shout. If I can help you with your orders, especially with the sale starting tomorrow, then please shout. Like I said, I did run through a couple of weeks ago with the catalogues, all the things that were being reduced. So please go back and see those. It's your easiest way to see the reductions rather than looking down the small print of a form and working out for yourself. Okay, I try to do the hard work for you. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and I will be back here